Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sabrina. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Guam.
Um, I know you're really familiar with the public health guidances, so I just want to ask you: is Director Shimizu at risk of getting a ticket for dancing, or is she okay because there was no one else in the room?
Without a complete investigation, it's difficult to tell. But I suppose if nobody lodges a complaint, she'll do just fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're doing our part.
So, what about
Right on.
Guam EPA? Are you guys like busting a move on illegal dumpers or anything like that?
We are busting a move within our resources. That's correct. Over the last week or so, there have been several fires, and I'm sure that's something that you folks want to get into this morning. Something that I've spoken to Tyler about last week was our involvement with fires, particularly when GFD suspects that there's issues with mismanaged solid waste on site. There were the agency's emergency response and solid waste management program.
I have a daughter who's turning one next month.
I'm sorry. There's somebody needs
Yeah,
to mute their audio that's in our Zoom room.
sorry about that, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
so there were some fires that the agency was called to assist on scene alongside GFD. There was a fire in Upper Tuman associated with the dam.
Right. I recall going to that fire in Upper Tumon, and the moment I got out of my car, I could smell the fumes, and I was walking my way to the site. And when I got there, I was just really disgusted with the way that stuff was piled up, the white goods, the trash, and I could sense from the neighbors they were frustrated because they were like, "Hey, man, the caretaker, they burn every single day, and now look." And it's just a pile of trash. It was just so sad. And like
Right.
I said, they were just frustrated. So I know I called you and I was like, "Hey, is Guam EPA coming out here? Because this is definitely not right."
Right. So amongst all the fires that the agency did respond to last week, that is something that we're paying particularly more attention to because while we don't determine the cause of the fire, we lean on the expertise of the folks over at Guam Fire Department. But based on the photos and the videos that we received and that our responders took, it is pretty clear that there is a serious solid waste management issue. So we are going to be working with the tenant manager. It's likely that there's going to be some type of notice of violation going to be issued pending the results of that investigation. I do also want to remind the community about something that we released in the Joint Information Center back in November as it relates to fires in general. Um, the only thing that you're really able to destroy by fire is your green waste and your vegetative matter, right? Your tree clippings, and even in doing so, you would be required to get a permit from Guam Fire Department. You would need to talk to their fire prevention bureau to get a permit,
Yeah,
and then
nobody does that, Nick.
right.
Yeah.
But I do have to point that out, that you're not just able to burn anything that you want willy nilly. There are restrictions on what you can burn. Absolutely no burning of municipal solid waste. We do receive calls through our solid waste management program, and those folks do what they can every time they're called upon by the community. We do appreciate all the tips. We try to get through every tip as quickly and as safely as possible. So I do want to point that out as well.
Are you guys having a backlog? Because you kind of sound like you are.
Yeah. Oh, we had a comment here too, Nick. If there are nice neighbors who burn and smoke out the surrounding areas, who do they call?
You can call your mayor's office or the fire department.
Nice.
So for that particular neighborhood in Upper Tumon where that fire was, were the neighbors calling and reporting this to Guam EPA, or was this the first time you guys had ever heard and ever
Well,
responded?
this is the first time in my recollection that we've responded to a fire over there. But there have been other calls that the agency did receive. And unfortunately, a fire resulting this time around really escalates the type of compliance and enforcement measures that we're going to have to take on the property owner, which is something that we're also still in the process of identifying. So if there is a notice of violation that is going to be issued to the tenant manager or the property owner, you'll be able to see that on our website. We just need to have the program let its investigation take its course so that we're able to issue our findings on that.
So when the investigators got there and they saw the fire and they saw the trash, were they like, "What the hell is this?" And has the property owner been ordered to clean up the mess, or you're still trying to find the property owner?
Well, the line of communication is with the tenant manager, and so the likely protocol is that the responsible party, and we're not saying the person who started the fire or caused the fire, but the responsible party that's going to be associated with mismanaged solid waste will have to properly dispose of the solid waste on site and then provide evidence that that solid waste was taken care of properly. So there will be some form of reinspection. There is a time period that the program does give, depending on how compliant the tenant is. But there is going to be a reinspection of that site to ensure that the waste that was observed is properly removed.
But does the reinspection occur only after the NOV is issued or the administrative order?
No, that could occur at any time. At any time. Yeah, that will occur at any time. And I think, as you pointed out in your discussions with some of the residents there, if we have received additional complaints or people coming forward about other issues with the property, we will definitely look into those as well.
Okay. And just to go back, what I asked earlier, are you guys experiencing a backlog with people calling and complaining and reporting? I don't want to say complaining, but reporting
Yes,
violations?
Yes, we are. We do have a backlog.
Like 900?
I don't have the exact number on me, but it's been a constant challenge for our solid waste program to respond to everything in a timely manner. That's for sure. But we are doing what we can.
Is it because a shortage of staff, or why are you guys experiencing a backlog?
Is it because you're over there answering phones at the JIC?
Sorry, can you hear me now? I think somebody just muted me.
No, sorry,
Yeah.
Nick, my bad.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
He did it again. You there, Nick?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Nick, I got itchy trigger finger. My fault.
Yeah.
No worries, Jace. I'm beginning to think it's a sign. Anyway, I'm just joking. That's something that we have reported at our last board meeting. Actually, is succession planning within the agency. It's no secret that our agency is short-staffed. We do operate primarily on a consolidated grant that comes from US EPA. So balancing out, salary and benefit along with equipment, supplies, contractual agreements, it does affect our ability to onboard staff. In addition to that, it's also possible that the type of salary that we're offering for the personnel that we require is not going to be satisfactory. We did have a few of our environmental health specialists leave the agency over the last 2 years or so for higher paying jobs. So that's something that we've always been victim to, is not being able to compete against either the feds or a private company contracted with the feds. So staffing is going to continue to be a challenge in terms of our environmental health specialists. The other thing that we did report out to the board is we've got a couple chemists and a couple biologists who have left or who are eligible for retirement. So those folks are looking into those options as well. So our administrator, our deputy administrator, along with our ASO, are going to be working with DOA to get announcements out so that we can fill those gaps. We've had a long-standing vacancy with our safe drinking water manager as well. So that's something that we're going to have to address very quickly, just so that we can make sure that we even out the workload. Brian Bearden, Captain Brian Bearden, whom I think you're familiar with Public Health Services, he's actually our chief engineer. So we do have an agreement with Human Health Services for his service to Guam EPA, through an interagency agreement. And that's something that I do want to segue into. Brian's program made a lot of headway in terms of getting the safe drinking water rules and regulations updated, through the support of our committee chair, Senator Sabina Perez, and the 35th Guam legislature. We were able to get our regulations updated, and this is something that hadn't happened for quite a while. So the big change in that affects the community, something that I want to share with you all this morning, is how it affects your ability to get an occupancy permit or a building permit. There's something in the regulation that was changed to speed that process up, and I'm sure that contractors who are trying to complete projects have been frustrated with a lot of our regulatory processes. So we do want to share this with them. So primarily in the past, if you were trying to get an occupancy permit clearance from Guam EPA, this would require you to get a lead-free compliance water sampling. So any endpoint device in the building that is expected to provide water that's going to be digestible did have to meet certain requirements, and that usually meant that staff from EPA, Guam EPA, would have to come in and sample from random endpoints in the building. Those samples would then be sent to UOG's Weary lab for analysis. So that whole process, could take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes depending on everybody else's backlog. But with the current rules and regulations being updated and amended, a contractor is now able to provide the product packaging to Guam EPA and self-certify that the plumbing fixtures, the flux and all that stuff associated with the building conforms with the local and federal lead-free requirements. So that's something that will dramatically speed up the process in terms of obtaining your building or your occupancy permit. So that we are going to be doing some outreach. I do have plans to reach out to some of the hardware providers to see if we could set up some type of a outreach. And I'm use this term, outreach gathering, for just for some education in terms of what the public can expect with this new regulation.
All right, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay.
We'll let you get back to work. What kind of mask is that you're wearing?
It's a cloth face mask.
Is
The
it a
logo.
public health or?
Oh yeah. It's a public health one. I'm still with EPA. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I just rotate all my masks because I don't really I try to use the disposable ones sparingly. So all the cloth ones I try to rotate. It's like just a hygiene thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, public health's a good look for you, Nick.
Well, anything that I could do to assist during responses, I'm always open to it,
There you go.
including talking to you folks, providing updates with my home agency, which is Guam EPA.
Thank you for that. Take it easy,
Thank
Nick.
you. Stay safe.
All right, Kristen.
All right.
Stay
Okay.
safe.
That's
Take care.
Josh. Bye.